Okay, on this video, I will explain to you on how to find I1 here, which is the current in this loop here. So our goal here, which is to find I1. And how to do that, I will use mesh analysis, but with some caveat here, because we have a current source in the loop here between two loops. So here we will have I1, but here we pass through this 3 ampere current source, and that is the main problem. But let's do it step by step first. The first thing that we need to do is to label all the nodes. I mean, label all the loops, not the nodes, because we are using mesh analysis. So we have I1 here, and I think I will have another loop here, which is I2, and then this loop here as I3, right? So we have I3 here. Good, so now we have 3 loops, I1, I2, and I3. And what can we do next is actually we need to do KVL at all the unknown loops. So we will need to do KVL at all unknown loops. But then we don't know all the loops, I1, I2, and I3. So we need to do KVL at all of them. However, remember that KVL said that the sum of the voltage is equal to 0, right? Okay, let's see loop I1 here. We pass through this 10 ohm voltage source, and that is not a problem since we know the voltage. And then we pass through this 4 ohm resistor, and that is also not a problem since we can calculate voltage by using Ohm's law, right? 4 multiplied by I1 minus I2. However, when we pass through this 3 ampere current source, we don't know the voltage between each nodes. So we don't know the voltage yet. And then the same thing also happens for loop I3 here, right? For this resistor, that is not a problem because we can calculate 10 I3 minus I2. For this resistor and this resistor, that is also not a problem. But again, we have the same problem when we pass through this 3 ampere current source, right? Because we cannot calculate the voltage. So how to work around it? We use super loops, right? So let's us use a super loop, which is a very big loop here that, what is it? That includes I1, I2, and I3. So here we will have our super loop here in purple. So let's name that super loop in purple. So we need to do KVL at the super loop. Okay, let's start component by component. Super loop or super mesh, right? And let's see this first component here. The super loop goes from the negative terminal to positive terminal. So we will have negative sign because the current comes from negative terminal. So we have minus, and then the current goes to positive terminal, and the magnitude is 10. So we have minus 10. And let's follow the super loop here. The second component in the super loop will be this 5 ohm resistor, right? So I will have 5. But then 5 is a resistor. So we need to multiply it by the current to get voltage. But here we multiply it by the inside current, not the super loop. So we multiply it by I2. So we have 5 I2. Good. Now let's move on to other resistor, which is 9. Similar to this 5, we will have 9. And the current that pass through it is the inside current here, which is I2. So we'll have 9 I2. Okay, now let's move on to this 1 ohm resistor, and that will be 1. And the only current that pass through it is this inside current, I3. So we don't use the super loop current, but the inside current to multiply. And then we will have plus, we'll have 7 ohm here, so we'll have 7. And again, the only current that pass through it, the inside current, is I3. So I'll have I3 here. Good, and all of that will equal to 0, right? Because the sum of the voltage is equal to 0. Good, now I think we can simplify this. So we will have 5 plus 9, that will be 14, multiplied by I2. And then 1 plus 7, that will be 8, right? So we'll have 8 I3, and that will equal to 10. Good. And I think nothing that we can do from here. So we save this as equation number. Okay, and now let's do another KVL. Where can we do KVL normally? We can do KVL normally only at I2, right? At this loop here. We cannot do it at I1 because we will meet this current source. We also cannot do it on I3 because we also need to meet this 3 ampere current source. So the only thing that we can do is KVL at I2. So let's exactly do that. We need KVL at I2. Again, KVL said that the sum of the voltage in a loop will equal to 0. Let's start from this 4 ohm resistor here. So we will have 4. And here, the only current that pass through it, or not only the current. So I2 is flowing upside here. So we will have 4I2. But then here, I1 is flowing to the opposite direction. So I'll have minus I1. Good. And then we will have 5 and 9. So we will have plus 5. The only current that pass through it is I2. And then plus 9. And also the current that pass through it is only I2. Good. And finally, we will have this 10 ohm here. So we will have 10. And here I2 flowing there, I3 flowing there. So we will have I2 minus I3. Good. All of that will equal to 0. Okay, now what can we simplify from here? I1 only comes from this term here, so I will have minus 4I1, right? There is no other terms that contains I1. But for I2, I have 4 terms. 4 plus 5, that will be 9. 9 plus 9, that will be 18. And then 18 plus 10, that will be 28. So I'll have 28 multiplied by I2 here. And then I will have I3, which is only obtained from this term here. So I will have minus 10 I3. All of that will equal to 0. Good. Let's save that as equation number 2. So now we have 2 equations, but we have 3 variables. We need one more equation. So the third step will be use KCL for the remaining equation. For the remaining equation. Okay, what can we do from here? I think I will use this node here, right? So let's name this node as node A. And then we know this current here that is flowing to the voltage source here is I1, right? So we know that the current here is I1. And here we also have I3 here that pass through this 7 ohm resistor. So we have the current that goes there here as I3. And then this current in this branch here is exactly 3 ampere, right? Because this is a current source. Okay, now we can do KCL at node A. Let's do KCL at node A. What does KCL say? KCL said that the sum of the current that goes in will equal to the sum of the current that goes out. Okay. Here, the only current that goes in is I3 here into the node A. So I will have I3 here. and then that will equal to the other two currents are going out, which is 3 ampere here, so I will have 3, and then I also have I1 goes there, so we will have 3 plus I1. Let's move I1 here to the left hand side, so I will have minus I1 and then plus I3, and that will equal to 3. Let's have this here as equation number 3. So now, so far we have 3 equations and 3 variables. What can we do next is to solve the equation, right? To solve the equation. How to do that? And I think the fastest way to do that is by using calculator. Okay, let's clean up our slide and solve the equation using calculator. Okay, maybe it is easier for us to see in the matrix form, right? So we will have this matrix form here. So we will have 3 by 3 matrix because we have 3 variables, right? So we will have 0, I1 here, and then 14, and then 8. And then we will have minus 4, 28, and then minus 10. And for the last row, we will have minus 1, 0, and 1 here. And that needs to be multiplied by I1, and then I2, and then I3. And then all of that will equal to this one here, 10, 0, and 3. 10, 0, and then 3. Good. Now what can we do? We plug this coefficient into calculator. How to do it? Let's do that. This is my Casio calculator. You can use this setup button, and then equation solver is number 5, and 3 variables is number 2. We can just plug in the coefficient. So I have 0, 14, and then 8, and then 10. Good. That is for the first row. And then the second row, I will have minus 4, 28, and then minus 10, and then 0. And then I will have minus 1, 0, and then 1, and finally 3. And here we will have our I1 value, which is minus 1.933. Okay, so we will have I1 here is minus 1.933 ampere, right? The unit is ampere because all the component is in SI unit. So we'll have I1, and then what is I2? I2 is the second component, which is 0.105, 0.105 ampere. And then what is I3? I3 will be 1.0677. Okay, and then what is our goal? Our goal is to find I1, and we know exactly what is the value of I1, and so we have solved this problem. Hopefully I did not make any mistakes in my calculation. Let me know if I did. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Bye bye.